Hey, Trench Talk. So this is Jenny Carr. I'm the Programs Director for Courage Beyond. And with me, I have Ken Jones. Ken Jones is someone who's been working with us for several years and someone whose expertise on PTSD and working with families with PTSD is certainly unparalleled. So we wanted to give you guys the opportunity to ask Ken questions and to benefit from his knowledge. So before we do that, I wanted to give you a chance to know who Ken was. So Ken, are you still available?
I am.
All right. Ken, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, how you got involved in working with veterans?
You bet. I think item number one is to thank you and all the folks here on Trench Talk for allowing me to be in this space with you. I know how private and protected this kind of group can be. So thank you very much. I got involved in working with the Vet Center in a left-handed way. I was 19 when I went to Vietnam, 1967. Was there 67, 68, came back, had nightmares and stuff, but I figured that was normal. Over the years, what we didn't know then was this animal called PTSD. And over the years, I developed, I think, most of the symptoms that we now associate with it. Probably the lowest spot was the day that I went into the Vet Center in Anchorage, Alaska, because at that point I was looking very seriously at I don't want to live with this anymore. I just don't want to do this. And if there's not some way that I could figure out how to live with it, I'm done. I quit. And as a result of that, walked through the door at the Vet Center, went through their combat debriefing programs. As a result, was asked to be a volunteer counselor and then a staff counselor for the VA at the Vet Center. And that was over a period of 8.5 years.
So many people I know that work in the helping business, the helping passion ministry, come from this personal experience. So it makes a lot of sense understanding the deep personal attachment that you have to helping people with PTSD. What you're probably too humble to say, and so I will say for you, is that since then, since working with counselors yourself, you have become this amazing counselor to others, and since then helped hundreds of people. Ken is has recorded Heart Conversations with Melissa Seligman, and that is something that Courage Beyond utilizes all the time as just a wealth of information, knowledge for our family members. So, Ken, I wanted to ask you if you had any intentions for the Trench Talk group, anything that you feel like you are really excited to cover with them.
I would like some guidance from the Trench Talk group about the direction you would like me to go. And the reason I say that is we used to do, when I was at the Vet Center, we did what we called spouse and significant other groups. When we set up a combat debriefing group, we brought in their spouse, whichever loved one they wanted, who was going to be their primary support. And each week, as we convened the combat debriefing group, the day before that, we would convene the spouses and significant others group, and we would tell them, here's where we are in the treatment, the homecoming process. Here's what we're going to share with the guys this week. And as a result of that, here's what you can expect to see, or not, at least not be surprised to see over the next few months as your sweetheart or your husband begins to work through these issues they've kept inside for so long. Did I answer your question, Jenny?
You did. So you turned it right back on me, which I appreciate. Totally fine. So Ken, what you were talking about, homecoming and talking with military spouses and loved ones about what it's like when their soldier comes home. I know some of our Trench Talk members have had their significant others quote home for a decade now. And a lot of times what they say is he never came home. And so I'm really looking forward to you having an opportunity to talk with these women about that. And what I'm hearing you say is that you'd like to have direct questions from our audience before you even jump into this group so that you can be thoughtful in your responses. So Trench Talk, if you're listening, and I hope you are, obviously you are, otherwise you wouldn't hear me say this, please submit your questions to Ken. He's someone who's impacted me tremendously in my relationships, and I'm very excited about him doing the same for you all. So looking forward to seeing you guys soon.